Live look here at your Idaho Falls sky cam. 33 degrees, winds out of the north around 11 miles per hour. We are looking at some reduced visibility due to some light to moderate snowfall from Blackfoot to about Chubbuck. Buenos días, amigos. Las montañas van a tener un poco probabilidad de nieve. Temperaturas máximas 36 in Mackey. I just ran out through the parking lot to the road to check, and it looks like we just have wet roadways. I've stopped the clock at 2 a.m. because I wanted to show you the eastern highlands are just going to get walloped by some snow showers. You going to come help me?
So JoJo's going to help Ida with the weather here.
Okay, you just got to click that button. Around Shelley right now, I do have a friend on Facebook that says the roadways are messy. So this has been closed down since 11:30 this morning, and you can see why behind me. Check out West Yellowstone. 31 degrees below zero right now, and that is not a wind chill number. I actually just heard word from our producer that we have another school district to add on to that list. The big concern here is winds gusting at 80 miles per hour on Sunday. I had to drive, or let's say plow through a couple of snow drifts, and the snow was coming just as high as my car. But I want to zoom in a little bit here because there are several tornado watches and even a tornado warning out in effect for west central Georgia. Moving over to Idaho Falls, we also have winds right now in the double digits at 19 miles per hour.
Now, your first alert weather with forecaster Ida Walker.
We just have inches of snow right now covering our roadways. This is a look at the I-Know puzzle on US 20. We do have ice on the roadway. We have some fresh snow, so be prepared for slick conditions. Let's go ahead and move on over now to the Idaho Falls I-15 webcam. As we look at the ground here, US 20, I-15 also dealing with some snowfall this morning. Plus county roads, I had to drive on them this morning. Pretty bad. Here's a look at Botts, Idaho 33, where we do have snow on the roadway, and it's pretty thick. We also have some drifts, and then for this afternoon, we have to be concerned with blowing snow. Let's go ahead and get a check now of Viper radar. Central Mountains, we just have a few spotty snow showers right now. Your roadways are just as bad as everyone else's. You saw some snow come in overnight, but right now the bulk of the snowfall is into the upper valley. St. Anthony looks like you're just barely getting a little bit of that gray right there for you, and that is an indication of some light snow. But once you start to get into these lighter spots, that's where we're starting to see some steady snowfall. We just have variable rates falling right now, so just depending on where you're at, you may just get a trace like over St. Anthony, but we could see maybe up to ½ an inch of new snow, let's say around Idaho Falls, where we're starting to see some of those brighter spots. And I do want to point out that this blue right here, the stationary slot of blue, that's just our windmills interfering with radar. Let's go ahead and get a check now of what is going on your satellite image. That front is now starting to lift off to the northeast. We do have a break here for the rest of this afternoon, but tonight here comes another storm system. This storm system also going to bring us some more snow. Here's a look at Vipercast computer model. Some snow here into the eastern highlands. We have more snow moving into the western side of the central mountains by about lunchtime. But you can see the Snake River Plain doing pretty well. We'll see a little bit of some filtered sunshine, maybe even some mostly cloudy skies. But then as we head to about 8 p.m., the upper Snake River Plain starts to see some snow. That cold front moves in around midnight, and look at that. We have snow coming right along the I-15 corridor from the south from about 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So again, tomorrow morning is going to be a bit of a difficult commute as more snow is on the way. However, looking at the latest models, it doesn't look like we're going to get as much snow as we received yesterday. However, I am concerned with wind. That jet stream is just going to be right over us later on tonight into tomorrow. In fact, Pocatello tonight, you could see wind gusts getting pretty close to 30, even 35 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and get a check now of your current wind speeds, which are not playing nice right now. At the southwest at 14, 24 degrees is our current air temperature, but it feels more like it's 11 degrees thanks to the wind. Temperatures around the rest of the region, 18 in Salmon, 12 in Challis, 11 in Mackay, 16 in Jackson, and 24 right now in Burley. For the rest of today, temperatures are going to be into the 20s for most of the Snake River Plain. 29 today in Challis, 28 in Mackay, 28 in Arco. Moving further south to about Pocatello, 29, 31 in American Falls, 28 today in Malad. Again, breezy conditions expected for today. We're going to see breezy conditions for the rest of the valley, 26 from Du Bois to Rigby to about Idaho Falls. In the northeast, 19 in West Yellowstone, 26 in Ashton, St. Anthony today, about 25. Same thing in Island Park. And then 25 in Montpelier, 16 in Afton. Let's get a roll here of your 8-day forecast. Blackfoot today, especially for this morning, we'll have that chance of some snowfall. For this afternoon, it's just going to be a pretty slight chance. Though tonight, we do have a chance of some snow again, and that leads us into tomorrow morning, where once again, we could be dealing with some fresh snow on the roadway. Let's go ahead and move on over now to your Rexburg 8-day forecast, where today we are going to be dealing with some temperatures in the mid-20s. In fact, we're going to be in the mid to upper 20s here the next couple of days. But once again, same thing as in Blackfoot. This morning we do have that chance of some snowfall, slight chance for this afternoon. Then tomorrow, especially early in the morning, we do have a chance of some snow. Jackson 18 for today, tomorrow around 22, 20 on Wednesday. Overnight lows will be into the teens. Here's a look at your Pocatello 8-day forecast. 29 today, tomorrow around 30, 26 on Wednesday. We're going to see the same scenario in Pocatello as we will in Idaho Falls, and that is a chance of some snow for this morning, slight chance for this afternoon, then tonight into tomorrow morning, a chance of some more fresh powder.
Now, your first alert weather with forecaster Ido Walker.
We have a low pressure system to the south of us, and that is going to be sending in a little bit of some snow. We already have some in the southern highlands. This is eventually going to keep moving into the Snake River Plain, more into the central mountains, but I'll be tracking that for you here in just a moment with Vipercast computer. Right now, let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit closer and see what's going on. I'm going to step away so that I can get a little bit closer here. You see the pink? That is a rain-snow mix that's happening south of US 30, south of Soda Springs, and also south of Lava Hot Springs. As I zoom in here to Malat, you're going to be traveling along I-15. Be prepared for some fresh snow, and looks like we just have a little bit of a rain-snow mix. Preston, this has been just a little hot spot for you there. We've had rain-snow mix all morning long, and it just keeps flowing in. As for the southern highlands, south of Burley, Rupert, and Twin Falls, we still have some light snow coming in. Because the snow is going to start to really pick up for this afternoon, we do have winter storm warnings out in effect. The pink is the winter storm warning stretching from the Caribou Highlands all the way down into the south central highlands. And then we also have winter weather advisories for portions of the central mountains, also lower Snake River Plain. I'll get more into the winter weather advisory coming up in the next half hour. Right now, just a few details on the winter storm warning. It is going to be in place until 5 p.m. tomorrow. 4 to 8 inches of new snow possible. Blowing snow is also going to be a huge concern. Here's a look now at Vipercast computer model. Where you see that gray is where we are going to see a slight chance of some snow, but bright white there is a chance of some moderate to heavy snowfall. It looks like finally it's going to start to move into the Snake River Plain by this afternoon. Then we do have some bright white spots there in the lower Snake, hence why we have the winter weather advisory. We clear up a little bit around 9 p.m. for the eastern highlands, but looking towards the south, which is the direction the flow is coming in from, we have more snow that's going to start to move in for Saturday morning, and I'll be tracking that for you coming up in the next half hour as well. Live look here at your Idaho Falls Sky Cam, 33 degrees, winds out of the north around 11 miles per hour, getting a little bit of some filtered sunshine. Temperatures around the rest of the region, 30 in Mackay, 32 in Arco, 18 in Jackson, and for today, we are going to hit some pretty decent highs. First off, Central Mountains, looks like 33 in Chalice, 35 in Stanley, right around 30 in Arco. Now in the lower Snake, winds are going to be picking up a little bit, 5 to 15 miles per hour. That's why we have the concern for some blowing snow. 35 in Idaho Falls. Also going to see some northeast winds here around 5 to 15 miles per hour, except we won't get those stronger gusts except for in the Arco Desert where they're already going over 20 miles per hour. In the southeast and the rest of the eastern highlands, cloudy, chance of snow for the rest of today, 1 to 2 inches possible, and then tonight we'll add on a lot more. Here's a look now at your 8-day forecast. Blackfoot is up first. We're going to be around 37 for today, tomorrow around 33, and then Sunday, temperatures are dropping back into the 20s across the Snake River Plain. For Rexburg, we'll be into the mid-20s on Sunday and upper teens on Monday. Here's a look now at your Jackson 8-day forecast today. We'll have that chance of some snow, especially overnight into early tomorrow morning. Upper 20s for today, upper 20s also for tomorrow. And then we start to creep down to 22 on Sunday, 15 on Monday. Pocatello also seeing a drop in your temperatures. Upper 30s today, 38, very nice. Tomorrow, 34. And then 29 on Sunday, and then even lower for Monday. I don't know.
Just stop. There's a pattern there.
Yeah, it's a downward pattern. I know a lot of folks aren't very happy about it, but it's the overnight lows that I'm very scared of because that's when we come into work.
Yeah.
3, 8. Yeah.
Yes, Sunday to Monday, 3.
You know what I'm focusing on here?
Yes.
The fact that it is above 0. Single digits?
Oh, look at you.
It could be a
Trying to
whole
find
lot
positive.
worse.
That's good.
Look at you.
Don't you remember when it was minus 20 coming into work?
Yes, but it was still cold. It's still cold.
I think above 0 is much better.
Half glass full, girl.
Yes.
Buenos días, amigos. Las montañas van a tener un poco probabilidad de nieve. Temperaturas máximas 36 en Mackey, 40 en Challis, 39 en Stanley. En el sur, Pocatello hoy 37, 38 en American Falls, 35 en Malad. Y en el Valle, Idaho Falls hoy 31, 30 en Rigby, viento soplando a 5 a 15 millas por hora, pero no vamos a tener ráfagas. 24 en Ashton, 25 en West Yellowstone, 27 en Island Park. Y en el sureste, Montpelier, una máxima de 25. Actually, I am seeing a storm system already starting to set up across the northwest. It is bringing us some rain, and it is going to bring us some mountain snow. And because of the snow, we are seeing a winter storm warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service. You see the areas in pink here. Those are the areas that are affected by this winter storm warning. Most of the warnings across the area are going to be starting early this morning already around the Sawtooth Mountains. We are dealing with a little bit of some snow. Let's go ahead and move on over, though, to one of the areas on this winter storm warning, and that is western Wyoming. In the last half hour, I featured the Sawtooth Mountains, the Upper Snake Highlands. Now I want to focus on this region. This weather alert, the winter storm warning, is going to be in effect from noon today till Monday morning. And the 3-day total, that's 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, our 3-day total for snow is expected to be about 3 feet above 8,000 feet. Yes, 3 feet of fresh powder along the western slopes above 8,000 feet in elevation. For all the other areas, like the eastern or the northern slopes, we could actually see about 1 foot of new snow, but overall the western side of the mountains are going to be hit the hardest. Also, the big concern here is winds gusting at 80 miles per hour on Sunday. Sunday is going to be a very windy day as the cold front starts to move in, and this front is going to be bringing us breezy conditions across the board, and that's also the other reason why we have the winter storm warning, because we could be running into some difficult driving conditions, icy roadways, so be careful if you have to travel in the high country here the next couple of days. Here's a look at Viper radar. We have rain already filling out the eastern Magic Valley, now starting to push into the lower Snake River Plain, and looks like we have a little bit of rain already over the Arco Desert. Zooming in, though, into the Central Mountains, this is where we could see 40 to 50 inches of new snow, 1 to 4 feet of new snow as we head into Monday morning. Current temperatures around the region are actually doing pretty well this morning. Nothing too out of the ordinary except for Pocatello. Southerly winds right now pushing your temperature at 50, but it doesn't feel like that because we have 23-mile-per-hour winds. I'll get you those numbers here in just a few minutes. Now back over to Dan and Kylie. And I actually just heard word from our producer that we have another school district to add on to that list. Bonneville School District 93 is also closed. The roadways are pretty bad this morning, especially out in the country. Take my word for it. It was rough getting into work this morning with inches of snow on our roadways. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of webcams around the region. Osborne Bridge, US 20, we do have some light snow right now passing through Fremont County. On top of that, the snow warning is on the bridge, so please slow down, folks. Let's go ahead and take a look at another webcam I have for you. This is the Blackfoot Rest area along I-15. We do have some light snow right now around the Blackfoot area. And once you get to about Fort Hall and Blackfoot, that's when you start to see the snow start to accumulate on the roadway. Then the further north you go, that's where you'll see some more snowfall. In fact, here's a low-level look at the Idaho Falls I-15 US 20 interchange. And you can see we have reduced visibility right now because of the snow. Can't really make out the roadway because they are snow covered this morning. Let's move on top now to your Rexburg Skycam, where right now we also have reduced visibility thanks to some light to moderate snowfall. Currently temperatures are into the 20s throughout the Snake River Plain, but that 22 actually feels more like 11 because we do have southwest winds around 8 at the Idaho Falls and Rexburg Airport. So that's what it feels like this morning. Here's a zoomed in look at Viper radar. We have some snow on US 20 from St. Anthony to Idaho Falls. We do have a batch of moderate snowfall now moving to the east of Ammon. Also looks like we have some moderate snowfall around Yukon Elementary. I-15 from about 33 down to Idaho Falls. We have some light snowfall. And let me go ahead and move on further to the south where we also have some light snow around Blackfoot, as I mentioned. But it looks like Pocatello's had a break so far this morning, though we have a little bit of snow now starting to make its way to the northern edge of the American Falls Reservoir. As we head into the afternoon, the winds are going to be picking up while the snow will be tapering off. But we have another weak disturbance on the way for later on tonight. I'll be tracking that for you with your Vipercast computer model coming up here in just a couple of minutes. For now, let's go ahead and send things back over to Dan.